Gateway Church, a megachurch once celebrated for its massive outreach and spiritual influence, is now at the center of a perfect storm. A 35 to 40% drop in tithes, looming staff layoffs, a class action lawsuit, and a scandal involving its founder, Robert Morris, have brought this institution to its knees. But how did a church of this magnitude fall so far, so fast? And more importantly, what lessons can all of us take from this dramatic collapse? Let's dive into the details and uncover what's happening behind the scenes at Gateway Church. For over 20 years, Gateway Church has been a beacon of hope, worship, and community in Dallas, Texas. Founded in 2000 by Robert Morris, the church rapidly grew into a multi-campus megachurch with thousands of members and global influence. But in the past few months, Gateway has found itself in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. In June, founding pastor Robert Morris resigned amidst allegations of abuse spanning decades. His accuser, Cindy Clemisher, revealed that the abuse began when she was just 12 years old. This revelation shook the congregation to its core, leading to investigations, leadership restructuring, and now, financial turmoil. Just this week, Elder Kenneth Fambro announced that Gateway is facing a financial shortfall of 35 to 40%, forcing the church to implement significant staff reductions. Which is not an official public announcement, but rather a leaked video. Let's start with the controversy that sparked this crisis. In June 2024, Robert Morris resigned after Cindy Clemisher publicly accused him of sexually abusing her for years, beginning when she was just 12. This was not the first time Morris had addressed his past publicly. He had previously admitted to being unfaithful in his marriage in his 20s. However, this new revelation painted a far more disturbing picture. Elder Tra Wilbanks, addressing the congregation earlier this month, stated that the investigation uncovered damning evidence of leadership complicity. The church hired the law firm Haynes and Boone to investigate, resulting in the removal of 4 elders who had partial or full knowledge of the allegations, but failed to act.
We learned from this investigation about what elders knew before June 14th, 2024, and what actions they took or failed to take. And we now know that there were elders and employees at Gateway who knew before June 14th, 2024, that Cindy was 12 at the time the abuse began. Additionally, we also learned there were other individuals who were notified in the years prior to June 14th, 2024, about allegations of abuse, but they failed to inquire further. In other words, there are 2 groups. There's one group of individuals that knew without a doubt that Cindy Clemisher was 12 when the abuse began. And there's a second group who knew of allegations of sexual abuse by Robert Morris, who had enough information that they should have led them to ask more questions, but they did not. Both groups are fundamentally wrong and simply cannot and will not be tolerated at this church. As a result, we have decided to draw a very bright line here based on biblical and moral standards and our values as a church family. And we can report to you that as of today, no individual in either group serves as an elder, is employed by, or works at Gateway Church. They have been removed.
The fallout from Morris's resignation has had a profound impact on Gateway's finances. In a recent video update shared on Slack and obtained by the Roy's Report, Elder Kenneth Fambro revealed that tithes and offerings had dropped by a staggering 35 to 40%. Fambro emphasized that the layoffs would be handled with compassion, offering severance packages of 1 month per year of service, up to 4 months. While Fambro's tone was apologetic, he acknowledged that past staff reductions at Gateway were not handled well.
This is Kenneth Fambro. I'm one of the 3 remaining elders here at Gateway. I wanted to just come to you personally and first of all, just thank you for everything you guys have done. The staff has been amazing through this process. We as elders, as we have walked through just the difficulty and the time we've put in, we truly acknowledge all of the time that you guys have put in and all the sacrifice that you guys have done. And so wanted to come to you personally, just really to give you an update on where we are from a financial standpoint here at Gateway. We have in fact seen our tithes reduce between 35 and 40%. As a result, we really need to go and start looking at the ministry itself and looking into some staff reductions. As leadership, we want to be as clear and transparent as possible as we walk everyone through this process. That said, there are some technical matters I want to discuss. If your department is dissolved or reduced, you will receive the same severance package as those who took the voluntary severance. That is 1 month for every year of service, up to 4 months. We really want to take care of our staff through this process. I know that this is a very difficult thing, as I've mentioned before, but we want to come alongside you and really help you through this transition and through this process. I also do want to acknowledge that things in terms of staff reductions were not handled well in the past, and for that I apologize. We really are trying to look at leadership differently and express leadership differently in doing so. My heart goes out to everyone who's processing this right now. But know that we want what God wants. We want you to be exactly where God wants, and whether that's in your career or whether you attend the church, we want the best for you. As you process this, please go to your manager and discuss the details. And understand that as elders, we're here as well. We love you and we thank you for your service.
Amid the turmoil, Gateway Church is implementing significant reforms aimed at rebuilding trust and ensuring greater accountability. One major change involves restructuring the church's leadership board. Going forward, the board will no longer include staff members, except for the future senior pastor and potentially an executive pastor, both serving in non-voting roles. This move aligns with Gateway's plan to join the Evangelical Council for Financial Accountability, ECFA, which requires boards to have a majority of independent members. As if the financial and leadership crises weren't enough, Gateway Church is also facing a class action lawsuit. The lawsuit alleges that church leaders misled members about the allocation of funds. Gateway had claimed that 15% of tithes and offerings went toward global missions. However, plaintiffs argue that in some years, the church allocated as little as 3% to missions. This has raised serious questions about financial transparency and stewardship, adding yet another layer of complexity to Gateway's struggles. I have covered this in detail in this video. You can watch it after this. These cascading events beg the question: can Gateway Church recover from this overwhelming series of crises? How does a church rebuild trust when its leadership has failed so profoundly? What does this mean for the thousands of members who once called Gateway their spiritual home? These are not just questions for Gateway Church, but for the broader evangelical community. Leadership accountability, financial transparency, and a commitment to biblical values must be at the forefront of every church's mission.